Well, hello everybody. It's Dr. Chris here. How are you this Tuesday evening? Um, I have had a crazy day, and I will tell you what, I could use a raindrop technique right now. Oh my gosh, you know those days where you really just everything comes right at you. But thankfully, I have all my oils. I used a lot of tree oils today, which are very grounding. But I'm excited to be here to continue the series on raindrop technique. And tonight we're going to talk all about the oils. So, this is the kit with all the oils in it. And I'm going to go through each one and explain what this oil can do for you in the regards of what raindrop technique is about. And if you haven't watched the first video I did on it, I'm going to put a link in the description. After you watch this, go ahead and go back to that because it explains the whole theory behind the raindrop technique and what it is used for. So tonight is specifically about the oils. Okay, so let's start off with oil number one, which is Valor. So this came in your starter kit, and I really hope everybody is using Valor because it is an amazing oil that I use every single day. I start my day off with it, and I use it to help support my whole system, especially mind, body, spirit, getting myself ready for the day, and the element of protection it also um, affords me. I will also put a link to a whole video I did on Valor, but we're going to talk specifically about how Valor helps for the raindrop technique. So first of all, it is a blend of camphor wood, blue tansy, northern lights black spruce, frankincense, and geranium. And what it does is it helps to balance the body's electrical energetic system, stimulate the nervous system, and support the spine. And it also affects the brain. It affects a part of the brain called the limbic lobe. And this is a very special part, actually directly connected to the olfactory system, which is involved in our emotional sense, our emotional self. And in this case, what we're trying to do with Valor is help improve our self image, and it helps give us courage, confidence, and self esteem. And with all the tree oils in there, it is certainly grounding. And as far as constituents, if you are into that, it contains esters, monoterpenes, and sesquiterpenes. And at some point, I will be talking all about these constituents. I'm doing it little by little, but you can certainly go look up these yourself and see what properties those constituents contain. And you're going to be hearing a lot about things like monoterpenes and sesquiterpenes. So Valor is the first thing that we apply in the raindrop technique. And I will be going over more of the techniques starting next week. And I'm going to be starting with the Vita Flex system next week, where we will be applying oils to our feet. And it's the same technique or the same type of thing you would be doing on somebody else, but you are going to start to learn how to apply oils to yourself. So, first of all, you can start doing your own self care. And then, when we get to how you apply to other people for the feet, that those same principles are going to apply. But I wanted to start with that first because otherwise, you have to find somebody else who does the raindrop technique to do it to you. So this way you'll have a way to take care of yourself while you take care of others. And hopefully at some point you can teach somebody else how to do the full raindrop or find someone in your area to trade with that might do raindrops so you can get the benefit too. All right, so let's carry on with oil number two, which is, I should have lined these all up. because they're all the same color almost. Did you know that the color of the bottles of the oils represents um, what they are used for? And I'm imagining this color here is quite a lot for immune support, but I can't be sure. I did post a video, a link to what the different colors are for. So maybe I'll put that in the description here. I have it somewhere else. I just don't have it right here. Sorry about that. But if you notice in your kit, they're all very similar in color with sort of like a teal or a blue or a greenish color. And so these are all things that work synergistically together. So that's kind of my point. All right, oregano. So it's very interesting when you, mm, it smells so good. When you are working with these, doing raindrop technique, the oil volatility of these oils, it's just so amazing the scent that you get in the air. In the beginning, it almost smells like a pizza parlor. So oregano is high in phenylpropanoids, and these are the constituents that are very, very important to clean the gateways into the cells. So each of our body cells has there's not necessarily openings, but there's different receptor sites on the cells, and this is how things get into the cells. But sometimes these gateways can get very clogged up with things coming in out of the cells. The process of what goes on in a cell creates a lot of debris. And so oregano gets in there, cleans out those gateways, and it preps the way for the other oils that will follow to do their work. And what this is going to do is help improve cellular communication. And for sure, oregano is one of those top immune support oils that you should always have on hand. And especially in the Northern Hemisphere, we're gearing up for cold and flu seasons. In Southern California, it's just starting to get a little chilly, but in some areas of the Northern Hemisphere, there's already snow. It's crazy. I used to be one of those people that lived in those colder climates, and I have to say, I've been there, done that, and I'm glad I don't have to do it anymore. So that is oregano. And then the next oil that we're going to apply when we do our technique is thyme. Now, this works in a very similar way to oregano. It has a high phenolic content. And again, it clears the way for those other oils that are going to follow to do their work. It's also one of the top oils for immune support. So do you see a theme here? The type of thyme, because of course there's different variations of all plants, and this type of thyme is called Thymus Vulgaris, contains 60 to 70% thymol or thymol, depending how you say it. And the two common names are thyme or red thyme oil. And thyme is recorded in the Ebers Papyrus, one of the oldest Egyptian medical texts that dates back to 1550 BC. So it has been used historically for a very, very long time for very good reason. Now, both of these oils, both oregano and thyme, are what we call hot oils. And what that means is that it stimulates a lot of circulation to the area. There might be a little burning, there might be a little redness because of its purgative and stimulating properties. And in this case, with any of the oils that you use in the raindrop technique, if you put an oil on and you are uncomfortable or the person you're working on is uncomfortable, then what you would do is apply a little bit of V6 oil. It comes in the kit, and this way it can dilute the hotness of the oil, you never want to use water. That just sort of spreads it out. You always want to use a carrier oil. So if you don't have V6, let's just say you've got the individual oils, but you don't have the kit, you can use coconut oil, olive oil, almond oil, any oil that you would ingest. Of course, you want it to be organic. Then you can use that as well. So if somebody is really, you've put the thyme on and the oregano and they're super sensitive and they're like, whoa, that is too much, just apply some V6 oil or other carrier oil and it will dilute that sense. But it is normal and natural. But if it gets too uncomfortable, you've got a way to combat it. Now, if that person coming in tells you they have extremely sensitive skin, let's just say they're really fair, maybe they're a redhead, and so they know that their skin is super sensitive, you may want to just apply the V6 oil to start with before you start dropping oils on them. That's okay too, because that is going to help disperse the oils onto their skin and it will make it so that they're not having such a reaction. All right, enough said. That's sort of my little caveat to this, because we are only using Young Living oils to do this. Please do not use any other oils because you do not know if it contains other things in the oil, whether it's synthetic oils or other additives or fillers or other toxic things that can for sure react. And I do not recommend using any other oils than Young Living. That's what this technique has been made for and made by Gary Young. All right, oil number 3. Basil. Yum. Now we're really starting to get those aromas going here. I love the smell of this basil. It is absolutely amazing. You know what? I am just going to breathe a little in. And actually, I'm going to apply a little bit to my temples. It just so good to clear a foggy head for me. And just, it has definitely been a crazy day. All right. So basil is part of what we call the 3 sisters of oils: basil, wintergreen, and marjoram. So we're going to start off with basil. All of these oils are high in phenols and monoterpenes. And when you research the science on these constituents, you are going to see that they have a tendency for kicking things out of cells that shouldn't be there and then resetting the cell to what we would call factory reset mode. So back to the original state of that cell, which is what we want to try to get back to. Basil is really relaxing to the muscles, great for mental stress. So that's why I like to put it right on my temples here. Oh my goodness. And basil comes from the Greek word bas ilium, meaning king. So the king of oils right here. Just put a little crown on there. All right, next in this part of the 3 sisters, we're going to talk about wintergreen. So here's wintergreen. Notice it has a child-proof cap on it. Did you ever wonder why? Well, that is because wintergreen is actually really sweet when you ingest it. And so it can also, of course, anything taken in large amounts can become toxic. So it's got a child-proof cap on it because in case a child gets to this and tastes it and is like, ooh, that tastes really good, and they just drink the whole thing down. So Young Living just wants to make sure that everybody's safe. This is for topical use only, even though you will have things in products like wintergreen gum and that type of thing. They would use a wintergreen oil if they're not using a synthetic, but Young Living doesn't have a vitality component, so we just use this for topical. You could use it for aromatic as well, but We'll leave it at that. All right. So wintergreen is great for muscles, joints, and the whole skeletal structure. It's going to move deeper into the body, deeper than basil. And within this amazing oil is the constituent called salicylate. So it's 95 to 99% salicylates. What is that? Well, Native Americans chewed wintergreen. They chewed birch bark and wintergreen bark in order to help them have endurance when they were running long distances, to also increase their respiratory capacity too as they were running. So this is a natural way that they would do that, and it's known to help with soothing. And so a lot of times in pharmacology, what they'll do is look at a natural substance and say, huh, why are they chewing on that birch bark? What's in that birch bark? And they'll break it down, find out, oh, it's got a lot of salicylates in it. Okay, we are going to manufacture salicylates into a little pill and we're going to call it aspirin. And that is what happens. And so we can go back to nature and use the plants, which have a very powerful effect. And they also have other constituents to them as well, which can act as brakes or accelerators. So it can help with decreasing side effects and also help with enhancing the properties of the natural ingredient. So this is how we can use wintergreen to help support our bodies. Wintergreen, when you apply it, you're going to feel it has a cooling effect and a soothing effect. And again, it is going to help increase alertness. And once again, I can't stress enough the importance of using pure, unadulterated essential oils, because a lot of people, when they have reactions to wintergreen oil, it's not to the wintergreen itself, but possibly some of the other ingredients in there. So make sure you check out Young Living's Seed to Seal Promise, where they go into detail how they are supportive of plants, and only pure essential oil goes into that bottle, the best oil they can possibly create, all the way starting from the seed, through the planting, through the growing, distilling, and bottling. So make sure you check that out, and I will put a link to the Seed to Seal Promise into the description. All right, marjoram. This is the next oil, the last of the three sisters. It is a major circulation oil, and did I write that in there right? Oh, I actually did that for Cypress. Okay, I messed up in my notes. Let me see. Sorry, Cypress is the circulation oil, which I thought. Marjoram is going to help relax stressed muscles and soothe the nerves. So that is the aspect of this three sisters. We've got that cooling and soothing effect of the muscles, and with the wintergreen, the basil, which is deeper than the basil, and then the marjoram is coming in and relaxing those stressed muscles and soothing the nervous system, which of course gets aggravated with stress. All right, now let's go to Cypress. Sorry about that. This is a major circulation oil, and most people don't know this, but cypress trees grow near a body of water. And so they are great. They've got a lot to do with circulation, which is our circulation of fluid in our body. So it's great at pushing things out of the body that you do not want in there. It works closely with the lymphatic system for that very same reason. And most people don't know, too, that the lymphatic system is you've got your arteries and your veins next to each other. The arteries distribute oxygenated blood and bring nutrition, and the veins take away all the deoxygenated blood back up to the lungs and take away waste products. But the lymphatic system is really like the trash collecting system. It's connected to the circulation and will take that a lot of that trash out of the venous system and get it back to things like the liver to process and get it out of the body. So we've got a whole lymphatic system that we really need to take care of. So Cypress helps with this waste removal system. So you really want to use Cypress very, very generously. Like you can't use it too much, just to really get things moving. It contains 14% sesquiterpenes, which are known for getting the yuck out of the cells that have been cleaned out. And it's again like kind of like taking that trash out of your house. Once it starts to pile up, you've collected all the trash from the house, you've got a big pile of it, you've got to get it out of the house. It's also 76% monoterpenes, which will help reset the body to that factory original condition so that your healthy cells are going to be healthier and full after that gets all that debris out. Cypress is a tree oil, so it's very spiritually grounding. It helps us accept change and feel more secure with ourselves, helps to eliminate stagnation. It is warming and comforting, and it also helps us to distinguish which changes are best for us. So there's definitely a spiritual aspect to that oil as well. All right, then we have peppermint. I will also post a video I did on this oil. This one came in your starter kit. This is another oil I love to help use to wake up my brain. It certainly does affect my nervous system. I don't know about yours. But if you're ever feeling a little, woo, wow, if you're ever feeling a little groggy, don't reach for the caffeine and the coffee. Reach for the peppermint and just use the vitality in your body and use the topical and the aromatic in your diffuser and on your body. That's better. So this oil helps to support so many systems: digestive system, respiratory system, and like I said, the nervous system, including the brain, which is the whole master controller of all the systems. It's also great for the liver, and our liver is our major detoxification organ. So remember, we're taking the garbage out, we're dumping the garbage out, but it has to be processed through the liver. So we need to help support our liver. Peppermint is a synergistic oil, so it is going to help improve the action of all the other oils that have come before it. It's high in phenols. It's also got 9% sesquiterpenes, and it is known as the driving oil in the Raindrop Technique. So it's coming at the end. There's only one oil left. It's coming at the end, and it's driving all the oils that we used before deep into the body. So this is a great oil to use when there is resistance to learning, especially a new subject, or if you have to move in a new direction and you're resistant to it, resistant to change. Go figure, like who loves change? And it cools and calms the mind. It eliminates the fear of the unknown. And there was a study done by Dr. Dembar at the University of Cincinnati. And in this study, he looked at the mental accuracy of students when they inhaled peppermint oil. So like I said, it really helps to stimulate the brain. And if you are ever doing anything where you really need to focus and concentrate, I recommend peppermint, and I recommend basil, or the combo of clarity. Amazing oils. All right, we are on the very last oil, aroma size. And guess what? This is a combination of many of the oils that we just use in the raindrop technique. It's got basil, marjoram, peppermint, and cypress, as well as lavender. So it is really coming in at the end to bring everything together. It's calming, it's relaxing, it's going to help relieve any tension that is left in the body, which I don't know how it could be after, after all of the technique going through. But it's great for letting go of any negative memories stored at the cellular level. And it helps us to also be consistent in anything we're doing as far as work or projects. In other words, you know how sometimes you might start something and not finish it? Oh, or procrastinate. I feel like if I'm doing things myself or I don't have time or a person to do the raindrop technique, even just applying the aromasize to my spine just feels amazing. And I feel like I get a lot of the benefits that all these other oils work to combine. So I know that's a bit of a shortcut, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Now, at the end of the raindrop technique, Gary recommends doing applying the Orthoease oil. Now, you don't have to do this, but because of the oils in it, like wintergreen, peppermint, juniper, eucalyptus globulus, lemongrass, marjoram, thyme, eucalyptus radiata, and vetiver, because it is so great for the muscles, it is, it just kind of really feels good at the end. But if somebody has sort of had enough of these hotter oils or cooler oils, you can always end by applying the V6 oil. Why you want to put an oil on, a carrier oil, after you finished is to seal all the oils that you used and help with absorption. Otherwise, they might evaporate fairly quickly, or at least quicker if you don't apply a carrier oil to seal everything on top. So because of the effect on the muscles, Gary preferred Orthoease, but you also have the option of V6 if this is too strong or they've just had enough with the oils. So that concludes all the oils in the raindrop technique. So I just want to kind of recap. We've got Valor, which you start off with. And this is going to help align and balance the body. And if you didn't know, it's also, its nickname is Chiropractor in a Bottle. How about that? Next, we've got Thyme. And thyme is an oil that is going to help with immune support. It's going to help to clear out the gateways to the cells. It's going to aid mental and physical recovery. And same thing, the oregano that you use is going to do the same thing with clearing out those gateways so the other oils can get in, just like the thyme. And then we've got our three sisters of basil. And this is a muscle relaxer. It's going to help with our natural response to inflammation. And then wintergreen is going to come in. It's going to work a little bit deeper. And it's going to help with support of muscles, joints, and the whole skeletal system. Our last in our three sisters is this marjoram. Again, we're relaxing stressed muscles, soothing nerves. And then we are going to, make sure I do this right, peppermint, right? And with peppermint, it's going to amplify all the effects in the muscles. It's going to drive everything deeper. And then aromasize muscle recovery. Oh, I forgot Cypress in there, did I? Da-da-da. Well, I'm out of order, but don't forget about Cypress because this is super important for increasing circulation and helping clear out the lymphatic system. So getting all the yuck out of the body once it's been cleared. And then we'll go back to aromasize, the last one, muscle recovery, circulation, detoxification, supporting the lymph system. This kind of brings everything together and does it all. All right, so that is the conclusion of the Raindrop Technique essential oils that we use. If you found this helpful, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not yet. And for goodness sake, if you are not yet a Young Living member, please go to the description and click on the link so you can get your oils. I'll put a link to the Raindrop kit, and I'll also put a link to the starter kit oils because they're both amazing and you certainly want both. But if you're just interested in the Raindrop, then you need to get these oils in your hands right now so that you are ready to do the VitaFlex technique when I come back on next week. All right, I will see you next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, or as close to it as possible, depending on what is going on in my crazy life. So have a great week, and I will see you next time.